hell is this? Podcast?
We all know the town of South Park. It's a quiet little mountain town featuring your friendly faces, Stan, Kyle, Eric, and Kenny. Out of those four main boys, they all have outstanding character moments, character developments in their own unique way. However, I feel like the character with the most enriched development is Kenny McCormick. And we're going to take a deep dive into how big and how unique his evolution was throughout the show. And plus, it's his birthday, so I had to. And if that doesn't say enough, I don't know what will. Obviously, this podcast is a little different. I'm doing a face cam, unlike usual. And I was trying to switch to my... Before I get on to anything, you know what I like to do on the characters' birthdays. I like to read off their crimes. What I do is I take the crime that they committed. Let's say, for example, Kenny did murder. I take the years that it would do, and I would plus it to see how many years they would have, and if it's a life sentence, yada yada yada. But each thing they do counts as a count. So let's say Kenny has murdered 3 people, but like I didn't do that. But I just put it in order, not order. I just like the fandom website. It lists all their crimes, so I calculated it to how many years and realistically how much money they would owe in damages. So here are all of Kenny's crimes before we break down this character in synopsis form. Kenny has committed murder by proxy, copyright infringement, attempted murder, vandalism, assault, filling out a false police report, kidnapping, violation of firearm laws, breaking and entering, underage smoking, drug abuse, arson, prostitution, framing, blackmailing, pedophilia, vigilantism, which is not a crime by the way, underage oral sex, indecent exposure, cheesing and helping an escape, cheesing and aiding an escape. Which, in the case of all those crimes, it would give him 2 life sentences, 170 years in prison, and over $200 million, which he does not own. If you know Kenny, he's very poor. And, yeah, he'd be spending a lot of time in jail. And I think he would have to become a registered sex offender because of the underage oral sex. Now on to the big part of breaking down Kenny's character. Kenneth McCormick. Age is 9, 10, 11, they don't age, but in cock magic they say he's 9, so I'm going with that. His occupation, he doesn't have one. I shouldn't say that because in shitty part of town he does work in shitty walk as a janitor, but for right now we'll just say he doesn't have a job. He just is a student at South Park Elementary. Kenny McCormick, also voiced by Matt Stone, is a beloved character of the animated show South Park, which we all know, blah, blah, blah. It was created back in 1993. The first original thing was called Jesus vs. Frosty. That was their pilot to get South Park on the air. They first went to Fox, which I bet they highly doubt now, because they let a huge thing slip out of their fingers, and now it's on Comedy Central, and it's one of the biggest shows ever. He resides in the fictional town of South Park, which actually, it's not a fictional town. It is a real town in Fairplay, Colorado. So go check it out. I almost visited there, but yeah, it was too far from where I was staying. I was staying in Colorado Springs. I did get to see Casa Bonita. That was cool. Didn't get to go in. I was unlucky for that. Along with his friends Stan, Kyle, Eric, and he is in a orange parka, and he doesn't have any speaking lines except for the times that he is just out of his parka. So, Nightmare on FaceTime, The Jeffersons, Turd Burglars, and in the movie when he unmasked his hood for the first time, and he was voiced by Mike Judd, apparently. He's known for his orange parka, and he has blonde hair, but that muffled voice of his, making it difficult for him to understand. Despite his muffled speech, though, his friends all understand him very clear. It's like Scooby-Doo or Courage. Courage is he's like, if you've ever seen Courage, you know what I'm talking about. He makes all these weird sounds, and the guy's like, Oh yeah, there's something going on out there. Okay, we ain't investigated. Courage was a real one. This is all about Kenny. Kenny's personal traits include resilience. Kenny's comes from a low-income family. He has 2 siblings, Kevin and Karen. Okay, and I'm not gonna say the third one, but if you know what triple K means, it means a Ku Klux Klan. I mean, I'm on a inappropriate Spotify, so I could say that, but I don't want to. Where the hell was I? Oh yeah, low profit, low income family often faces adversity and resilience in his hardship. You know, he does everything for his family. He helped Karen get a doll. He's helped his friends before he helped himself, except in sexual healing and major boobage, where that was mostly about himself, and his friends were trying to help him through those tough times, and also the ring. He's also brave. He is a small structure, but frequently brushes with danger and protecting himself against his friends. In the episode, it's the one where Mr. Garrison tries to shoot Kathy Bates. He took a shot for her, even though he didn't mean to, but he did. And he also took one for the team when he's the one that they always send out, you know. Like, he'll take risk, and I like that about Kenny. I don't take risk, but I should. He's compassionate, like I just said. He does everything. He's like that quiet kid that you can trust, and that seems weird because you can't trust quiet kids, and they always say that. He demonstrates empathy. Hold on, I can't say this word. Empathy and compassion towards others, often going to help his friends, those are in need, which is ironic because he's the one that's in need. He's also mischievous, which, I mean, every character in South Park is mischievous. My bad. I am very bad with words. Let me just say that. I'm very bad with words, and but like his friends, Kenny enjoys God damn it, mischief, and also crude behavior. In the episode Sexual Healing, like I said earlier, like, Kenny knew all about what it was in that picture. I mean, Butters didn't. He's like, where was the yellow bowl? What was I looking for? Oh, that was a funny episode. And he also likes looking at the stuff. Again, Sexual Healing. One of my favorite Kenny moments is when he dresses up like Batman and chokes himself while doing the deed. It's actually one of my profile pics on Discord and TikTok and YouTube, but Instagram won't allow it because it's too inappropriate, so I just have Mysterion as my Instagram picture, which I find so bad. But he's also, speaking of Mysterion, he's also mysterious. He's got the orange parka. We don't know much about him. He's very quiet, and he's to himself, but even with all those traits against him, he is there for you. Like, he is there for you. In the episode, it's where they play the cops. It's right before Country Kitchen Buffet. That's great on. It's right before that episode. Shit, I forgot the episode name, but I'm not good with episode names either. Like, I can tell you a million of them, but it's not Good Times with Weapons. It's in my brain. It's scrambling around, but it's the one where they play the cops and they get involved with real cops, and at the end of the day, they're like, we're done with this. We don't want to play anymore. We want to do dry cleaning. So they do. And what was my point? During when they're investigating Butters, Kenny was playing the good cop, and we all know Kenny and Butters' relationship is really fantastic. I think it's one thing that we need to engage upon in later seasons. You know, Kenny is always there for Butters. He's always by his side. Whenever something bad is happening to Butters, he's always there for him, except in Butterballs, which I found weird. But in every other case, Kenny is there and just like, okay, dude, I'm here. No need to freak out or anything. But there are some key moments in episodes too, like The Spirit of Christmas, 1992. Kenny's first appearance in a original animated short that precede the series, which is what I talked about earlier in this season, which led to the release of South Park. Spirit of Christmas was released in 1992 between the years of 1995, and it set a tone to his character role. Interesting fact about that Spirit of Christmas is Kenny wasn't the one to die in that little snippet. It was Cartman. Cartman was the one that was gonna die, but I guess they switched character designs when they got Comedy Central to agree to terms, and so Kenny was the one to unfortunately die and come back to life. The Coon Trilogy, season 13, 2 through 4. Kenny adapts to this superhero alter ego, Mysterion, showcasing his bravery and selflessness, protecting South Park and protecting his sister Karen in the episode called again, bad with episode names. I should know this because I love this episode. Shit. Blanking my mind. In Best Friends Forever, season 9, episode 4. Kenny's immortality is more frequent and deaths are more explored in this episode, adding death to his character and mythology. So we find out in before that, I mean after the fact of that his parents attended a Cthulhu cult gathering and they sacrificed Kenny to be the one to be immortal. And in Best Friends Forever, before the Coon Trilogy, we find out why he's immortal and adding more depth to his character and adding more key moments to his life. And I thought that episode was great, and not many people appreciate it because it's not like one of those episodes where you are like laughing your ass off. You're really like, wow, overtaken by everything that's happening in that episode, because it's all about Kenny and it's all about like his why is this all happening again. We're going back to that why and how is it possible. And again, it's just Kenny. He's a great guy and he wants to officially just be up there. He did, I will say this, in season 5 called Kenny Dies, he did actually die for a long time. I think for the whole season until the very end of Red Sleigh Down when he comes back to life. He does come back, but for at that time we thought he was gone and he was never coming back. But if you listen to the commentaries, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and I've played it, you can go listen to it in Red Sleigh Down. They said we needed Kenny back because he's an important character and he gives character aspects that we can't do with any of the other characters. And I thought the way they took it with the writing and how they brought him back was genius. And the way they said, what he said in the script was, "Oh, I was just standing over there," oh, which I find hilarious. But more, the poor kid. That's what it was called. I knew I would get it. I'm gonna have to cut that bump out, but whatever. The Poor Kid was the episode I was talking about when Mysterion saves his sister Karen from the bullies and the bad parents. Well, I'm white trash and I'm in trouble. You know, they save him from an even worser person that was taking care of them that only had Diet Dr. Pepper in the basement, which, I mean, does anybody still drink Dr. Pepper nowadays? I feel like Dr. Pepper is such a weird beverage choice. But anyways, the Poor Kid, the episode delves into Kenny's family and going through their economic struggles. And providing more insight on his character and his family, Karen and Kevin, which I still want to know more about Kevin. I feel like I know Kevin, and then at the same time I don't know Kevin, you know? All I know about Kevin is that he likes frozen waffles and Pop-Tarts because of that one episode where Cartman's like, you know, which I don't know the name of that episode either. I think it was one where they went to his house for a sleepover for some reason. But You're Getting Older, which I find more of a Stan episode in my opinion. But Kenny's relationship with Stan tested as they grew older and drifted apart, highlighting more emotional complexity in the relationship. Because if you realize Kyle was the one like really like upset about Stan, just like, you're ruining everything, you're ripping everything, and you're just not enjoying life. On the other aspect, Kenny's growing older and he understands what Stan is going through. He doesn't really like get mad at him as like much as his friends. He's just like reactive with what Stan and Cartman were doing. I mean, with Cartman and Stan. I mean, Kyle and Cartman. Why am I saying Stan? Stumbling my words, but he knows why Stan is acting this way. He's realizing that there's got to be an end to the relationship, and there's going to be an end to this one day. And Kenny is just looking for that sweet, sweet thing called remorse. Overall, Kenneth McCormick is a beloved character in South Park, known for his resilience, his bravery, his friendliness, his bravery, his mysteriousness, his gloriness, his deaths. He's died over 126 times, and they haven't killed him off per se in a long time. They do kill him off here and there, but like, they've kept him alive just to show that his spirit is growing and growing, and that he's gonna keep fighting until the day he actually does fight his mortality, and he unfortunately is gone. But until that day, his compassion for nature and his compassion for his friends and his family will never seem to amaze me. And despite how traumatic his life is, and traumatic how fate adds, it adds more death and humor to the show, resembling the cast. I think he's great in many episodes. If I had to pick my favorite Kenny episode, it would probably be Best Friends Forever or Kenny Dies. I know that's sad saying Kenny Dies is one of my favorite Kenny episodes, but he's a very fantastic character. Or Sexual Healing. Sexual Healing might be my favorite just because of how funny he is in that episode. He's like, oh man, I don't want to be here. Like when he got in trouble. I think it's gotta be Sexual Healing is one of my favorite Sexual Healing is one of my favorite, like, oh yeah, that's a good episode, you know, like I would watch it again in a heartbeat. But a Best Friends Forever is a really good one. Is a tie at second place, and Kenny Dies is a third. Major Boobage is probably going to be my fourth, and I'm making this list up on my head right now because I'm not really thinking. But I guess for my fifth one, and for my fifth Kenny episode, I'm going to choose Going Native. It's one of the best written episodes, I feel like, in the show. Even though South Park is very good with the writing and very good with the way they write Kenny into storylines, I think he fits into the storyline very perfect. He is Butter's yin and yang, if I say respectfully. He makes sure he makes sure that Butters stays under control and in his headspace. And that to me is very important throughout the whole of South Park. So my order is going to go like this: Going Native, Kenny dies, best friends forever, and sexual healing. I changed up my list a little bit when I was at work, but that is my full list. Actually, now that I'm counting, I think I only have 4. Sexual healing, best friends forever, going native, Kenny dies. No, I have 5. Okay, never mind. Oh yeah, Major Boobage. I forgot I put that in there. So I guess Major Boobage is going at 5. Then it's going native. Kenny dies. Super best friends and sexual healing. I love sexual healing so much. It's just a funny episode. But anyways, that has been it for me. It's been quite an episode. It's something interesting and different than you're used to. You're used to us talking about an episode and us talking about basketball, or by us I mean Jeff and Stats, but it's just me today. And I appreciate everybody listening. I know this is a little weird with just one of us here, but I'm trying to get all the guys in for another episode. So next time we will probably be talking about Snow Day, since it's coming out next week, and I won't be around since I'll be on a trip, and probably the following week we'll record Snow Day. So that's why I'm releasing 2 episodes back to back, because I honestly feel bad that we haven't recorded all of February and March. So I'm kind of giving you a birthday gift. So think of it as Kenny's birthday gift and your birthday gift. Something from us to you. And I promise I'm working on it. I'm working on getting them all together so we can have another South Park Bros great moments. You know, it's great to have all of them here. It's great to have all their voices, and it makes the episodes quite longer. Honestly, I can probably only record a 20-minute episode, and I'll be like, okay, I'm done. I don't need to be here anymore. But and I get very nervous, and I stumble a lot. But you know, people have said this. You start off wherever you are, you know, and you might stumble the first few times, but the more confident you get, the better you are at it. I'm not there quite yet, obviously. And my grammar's bad, obviously. And my spelling's bad. Yes. But without all out of the way, this has been Kenneth McCormick's birthday monologue. And I hope you enjoyed listening to it. And there's plenty of other videos out there. I'm going to link a creator down in the description on their YouTube video on Kenny's whole storyline. His video is pretty damn good and does my video better justice. So, yeah. I'm going to just bring this out to 5 minutes, and I will end it there.
Dude, that was a sweet podcast.